In the beginning of the story, it is told to us that where the world ends, from there the beginning of the demon clan starts. A human princess named Mingsu fell in love with the demon lord and gave birth to a child. This caused chaos among the three clans. The three clans are, first, the immortal clan of gods and deities, second, the demon clan, and third, the human world, which is the mortal clan. This is the human princess Mingsu, who today gave birth to the demon lord's son and names him Wu Yu. Wu Yu is half human and half demon. Mingsu tells the demon lord that you used your power to give birth to this child, so now I'm afraid that we both will die soon. The demon lord tells her, I am not afraid of death, but I'm afraid that I will go to the underworld without you. By the way, we have broken the rule of the gods, so we were bound to be punished. Saying this, both of them die there. After the demon lord dies, a red pearl comes out of his body. Then the story directly shows us 20 years later, where Wu Yu now lives in the human world, which is the mortal world. This is the queen, and Mingsu's mother. There, a loud scream of a girl is heard, and then two guards bring her out. The queen says, this has happened for the 6th time. It seems that the minister's daughters are quite cowardly. Next time, find a simple village girl for Wu Yu. This is Ranju, Wu Yu's personal guard. After everyone has left, Wu Yu comes out and tells Rangju, Grandma wants to find a girl for me. Let me also see how long she keeps doing this. The queen sends another girl to Wu Yu. Seeing her, Wu Yu says, there has been no ritual in our marriage, so there is no need for you to wear this red veil. The girl says, I was also thinking the same. Saying this, she opens her veil. This is Chuchu, the female lead of the story. Looking at Wu Yu, she says, which fool told me that you are an ugly monster? Seeing you, it seems that you are quite handsome. He says, you are saying this because you haven't properly looked at me yet. Chuchu says, I was talking about inner beauty. Anyway, even though you have covered half your face, you can't escape my eyes. I know you are handsome. Now Wu Yu removes his mask and his eyes turn red, thinking, now you will definitely be scared. Chuchu says, wow, your eyes are turning red? Can you change the color of your eyes as well? Now show me by making them yellow, green, and blue. Wu Yu says to her, aren't you afraid seeing my red eyes? She replies, why would I be afraid? Anyway, people are both good and bad, and you are half human and half demon. Wu Yu, somewhat aggressive, and asks her, how did you find out about me? She says, the whole Huasheng kingdom knows about your mom and dad's love story. Wu Yu thinks that this girl is not as simple as she looks. Let me also see how long she can keep pretending. Ranju hears a noise from outside, so she quickly comes in, sees this, and says, sorry, I didn't see anything. Wu Yu says, get out. After they leave, Chuchu tells him, let me go. I'm not going to sleep with you. Wu Yu asks her, who are you? Who sent you here, and what is your purpose? She replies, I would rather die than tell. Wu Yu tries to get closer to her, but suddenly the mark on his forehead starts glowing. He thinks, did this curse have to activate right now? Seeing him in this state, Chuchu starts massaging him, which gives him some relief. He wonders, why is this girl's temperature so cold? Actually, Chuchu is the matchmaker fairy of the immortal world. When her master comes there, she says, Master, did Jingsheng make you angry? He replies, he doesn't have the nerve to mess with me. Chuchu asks, then why are you so angry? He says, because of Wu Yu. Wu Yu is going to become the demon lord in the future. His father had promised me that I would find a good girl for him and arrange his marriage, but this Wu Yu has no interest in love whatsoever. I've shown him many girls, but he isn't interested in any of them. Making him fall in love and killing him, both these things are very hard. For the last 2,000 years, I've been making people's pairings. I'm getting bald, and soon my beard will turn gray. I don't know who will help me now. Chuchu says, I am here. I'll help you. The master says, look girl, I'm your master. If I couldn't do anything, what will you be able to do? Wu Yu is like a time bomb. He can explode at any moment. Chuchu says, still I want to help you. I'll make that Wu Yu fall in love. The master says, don't use any of your magic, and if things start going wrong, come back to heaven quickly. Chuchu says, okay master. In the present, we see Chuchu saying, if I complete this task, I will become an official matchmaker fairy. After a while, Wu Yu wakes up. He looks at her and thinks, is this girl a spy from the demon prince? He was about to kill her, but Chuchu in her sleep says, don't be afraid, I'm with you. Hearing this, he stops. Then, after going outside, he tells Rangyu, give that girl some clothes. Ranju asks, Master, did you? He says, don't ask too many questions and just do as you're told. The next day, when Chuchu wakes up, Rangju comes to her and says, I am the prince's personal guard, and these two are my guards, Sangshan and Li Si. You are the prince's second wife. To which she replies, am I his concubine? Can you tell me about Wu Yu? But they reply, no, because I'm just an ordinary servant. I don't know anything about him. Chuchu says, all right, just tell me where he went. In the next scene, she brings tea for Wu Yu. Wu Yu says, no need to beat around the bush, get straight to the point. So she says, are you gay? Hearing this, he gets startled. She says, don't worry, now we're friends, so you can tell me your problems. Just then, they hear Rangju shouting from inside. When she goes in and sees, she says, sorry, I didn't see anything. Wu Yu again says, get lost. After she leaves, Wu Yu was about to kiss her, and she was scared. She says to herself, Chuchu, there's no need to be afraid. Nothing will happen. But he kept coming closer, so she says, wait, now I'm sure you're straight. Hearing this, he lets her go. She thinks, if he isn't gay, then I can work on my next idea. Just then, something gets into her eye, so Wu Yu, seeing this, thinks, she's crying. Looks like I went too far. He goes to apologize to her, and she says, just blow on it for me. So he blows a little and says, now get out of here. After Chuchu leaves, Wu Yu tells Rangju, check her background and give me all the details you find. Then we see the demon prince. His subordinate tells him, I saw that Wu Yu has a girl with him, and they're quite close, but that girl seems very suspicious. When I checked her background, I found nothing. The demon prince asks, and did you find anything about the soul pearl? The subordinate says, no. The demon prince says, then what are you looking at me for? Go find out about her. Here, Chuchu was saying, how grumpy he is. If he keeps this up, no girl will ever want him. Just then, she hears a voice saying, but you are his wife. Well, this is Wu Yu's younger brother, Wu Ming, who comes to her and says, you're the girl who spent the night with my brother, aren't you? She says, who are you? Wu Ming replies, don't you know who I am? For the past several years, I have been winning the award for the most handsome guy in the world. Young and rich, tall and handsome, I am Wu Ming, the second prince of this Huasheng kingdom. All the girls in the capital consider me their idol. She says, what was that? Those people have such low standards. This hurts poor Wu Ming's feelings. Chuchu says, Wu Yu is even more handsome than you. He replies, what did you just say? You've seen Wu Yu's face? Wu Ming says, in this entire Huasheng kingdom, there are less than 10 people who have seen Wu Yu's face. I think you're not just any ordinary girl. Just then, he notices that he's stepped on cow dung, and Chuchu points to his shoulder, where a bird has just pooped. He says, what's happening? Is the toilet god angry with me today? That's why this is happening. He screams and runs away. Watching him, Chuchu thinks, people here are so strange. She then thinks about Wu Yu and says, he has a sharp tongue and a sour face, but there's nothing lacking in him. There must be a girl meant for him somewhere. He spends the entire day with Rangju and doesn't even look at other girls. That's the main problem. If he doesn't talk to any girls who will like him? Meanwhile, Rang Yu approaches Wu Yu and says, the queen wants you to get married as soon as possible, and she thinks Chuchu is the best choice. I investigated Chuchu's background but didn't find much. Her identity is quite unknown. She's a suspicious girl. The demon prince may have sent her to spy on us. Rang Yu says, according to the rules, only the demon lord's son can be the heir. So why is this demon prince acting so overconfident? When will he stop his schemes? Wu Yu says, that old coward doesn't have the guts to rebel openly. He only knows how to attack from behind. He's probably planning something even now. Later, he goes to sleep near Chuchu. Watching him, Chuchu thinks, control yourself, Chuchu. Don't turn into a fangirl of your own client. Then she takes out a red thread, which is her last weapon, and says, you won't escape this. Just then, he wakes up and asks, what were you planning to do with that? She says, this red thread will protect you from evil things. In my village, people say that if you wear this thread, luck comes to your side and your troubles go away one by one. Wu Yu says, you came to my room so late at night just to tell me about this thread? She says, don't underestimate this. It's very useful. With this, you won't get sick, and you'll find true love soon. Wu Yu replies, I'm not interested in love or such things. Keep this red thread with you. She says, how can you say that? Finding true love is important in life. That girl will be happy in your happiness and sad in your sadness. Whether you are rich, poor, or sick, it won't matter to that girl. She will never leave you. All this will be possible only with the help of this thread. After wearing this thread, you will find the kind of girl I described. Wu Yu says, it seems this red thread has many benefits. She replies, of course it does. I promise that your work will be done. Wu Yu then says, my head hurts. Could you please press it a bit? She replies, yes, why not? She thinks to herself, once you wear this red thread, you'll find your true love, and I'll officially become a matchmaker fairy in the immortal world. The master was looking for his red thread in the immortal world, thinking, could it be that I misplaced it? No, that could never happen. I must have given it for repair and then forgotten to bring it back. The next day, Wu Yu was smiling while thinking about Chu Chu. Just then, Wu Ming comes to him and says, brother, the god Tai Bai Xing is angry with me. Please help me. Wu Yu replies, this is your daily drama. You keep annoying some immortal or another every day. Wu Ming says, brother, you're not even worthy of being called a brother. Have you forgotten that when I was 8 years old, I used to secretly come to see you? Don't you understand your younger brother's pain? Wu Yu tells Ranju, please give him some medicine so he can recover. When Ranju was leaving after giving him the medicine, Wu Ming says, I know you're very loyal to Wu Yu, but pay a little attention to me too. Can't you see that I like you? She replies, thank you, but my entire life belongs to my master. I must protect him, so I can't do these things. He asks, won't you give me a chance? When he tries to hug her forcefully, Ranju beats him up badly. Chu Chu arrives and asks, Prince, what happened to your eyes? He says, this is my new style, panda style. Saying this, he leaves. Chu Chu then asks Ranju, what does Wu Yu like to eat? In the next scene, she brings a cake for him. In front of him, she sometimes acts as a cute girl, sometimes a nice girl, and sometimes as a badass. But Wu Yu remains unaffected. She thinks, what type of girl does he like? I've tried all types. There's only one left, a sexy girl. Thinking this, she starts flirting with him. When Wu Yu gets close to her, her heart starts racing. She was just trying to tease him, but he actually ends up kissing her. Just then Wu Ming comes and starts talking nonsense, so Chu Chu leaves from there. Outside, she meets Ranju, who says, I really want to thank you because since you came, the master has been happier. Chu Chu asks her, how was Wu Yu before? Wu Yu says to Ming, the Rang family has been protecting the demon lord for thousands of years. Rang Yu is also doing this job. So let me tell you that Rang Yu is neither my friend nor just a protector. She is my family. If she agrees to be with you, I'll have no problem with it. I'll happily give her to you. Meanwhile, the queen is telling the king, Chu Chu is right for Wu Yu. We should arrange their marriage soon. The queen then says to the king, after Wu Yu's marriage, we'll arrange Wu Ming's marriage too. The king replies, do whatever you want. Rang Yu had told Chu Chu Wu Yu's entire story. She says, that's why I want you to take care of the master, because he has started liking you. Shocked, Chu Chu asks, what? Wu Yu likes me? Chu Chu is giving Wu Yu a head massage and thinking, does Wu Yu really like me? She shouts loudly, this is impossible. Wu Yu asks, what's impossible? She replies, nothing. It's impossible that I'm giving you a massage and you're not feeling comforted. Just then she notices his hand and asks, where did you lose the red thread I gave you? He lies saying, Wu Min liked it so much that he took it from me. Chu Chu thinks, if the master finds out I stole his red thread, I'll be in trouble. She asks him, you've been with Ranju since childhood. Don't you think she's very beautiful and cute? Wu Yu replies, I've never thought about her that way before. Chu Chu thinks, these two have no interest in each other. Seems like I'll have to come up with a different plan. She tells Wu Yu, I got tired working here all day. He says, if you want you can resty. She thinks, what a jerk. No wonder he has no girlfriend. She says, I work here all day. I don't even have enough time to go out and shop for myself. You stay home all day too. Don't you ever feel like going out? Wu Yu says, if you want to go out, just say it directly. Then we see they are walking around the market. Wu Yu has covered half his face with a mask. Seeing this, some girls comment, he must be ugly, that's why he came wearing a mask. The girls start criticizing him even more. Chu Chu says, my young master is the most handsome man in the world. One girl says, I know all the handsome boys of the Huasheng state. I've never heard about him. Another girl says, there isn't even a single diamond on his mask, which means he must be a beggar. Chu Chu immediately removes his mask, and all the girls are shocked, because Wu Yu was very handsome. Chu Chu starts handing out marriage forms to all the girls and says, After filling out this form, give it to me. Whoever is perfect, I'll arrange their marriage with my young master." Hearing this, Wu Yu gets very angry with her. He takes her aside. From a distance, the demon prince's henchman is watching all this. Chu Chu says to Wu Yu, "You should be angry at me because I removed your mask without permission. But look, those girls were saying bad things about you, so I did this." Wu Yu asks, "Chu Chu, do you really want to push me toward another girl? Don't you understand that I like you?" Hearing this, she is very shocked. He says again, "I've started loving you, so don't push me toward another girl." Saying this, he kisses her. She pushes him away, and he says, "I used to be very lonely before. I had no one in my life, but since you came, you've provoked me. So now you'll have to take responsibility because I've made a place for you in my heart." Hearing this, Chu Chu doesn't reply and runs towards the forest, thinking, how can he like me? Just then, Yaksha arrives with some attackers. Chu Chu says, "I was just thinking about whom to take out all my anger on. Today is your unlucky day." Then she remembers that the master told her, after going to the mortal world, "You will not use your magic." They attack her and Wu Yu arrives to help her. Then Wu Yu starts defeating them one by one. Yaksha attacks him with demonic power, and at that moment Rang Yu arrives with some soldiers. Seeing her, Yaksha runs away with his men. Yaksha's attack had a significant effect on Wu Yu. His demon power was starting to emerge. Chu Chu says, "You aren't well. Wait, I'll call Rang." But he says, "Please don't go." Wu Yu remembers that when he was little, everyone used to call him Monster, Monster, and the queen would punish him for even the smallest thing. She used to torture him a lot, so he says to her, "Please don't leave me, Chu Chu." Hugging him, Chu Chu says, "I promise I won't leave you. Don't worry, and I will never force you to like another girl." Wu Yu asks her, "Are you serious?" She says, "Yes." To prove this, she kisses him. After returning, she was saying, "Should I call the doctor?" But he says, "No need, I am fine." Just then, the king and queen arrive and ask him, "How did you go out without our permission? Didn't we tell you not to leave your home?" He says, "This is my home, not a prison, and I am not a criminal. I have the right to go out like everyone else." Hearing this, the king gets very angry with him and says, "Are you talking back to me? Aren't you afraid that I'll punish you?" Wu Yu says, "You have been doing that since childhood. I am no longer afraid of it." The queen says, "His parents died and we raised him. But look how ungrateful he is, talking back to us. I think we should not let him stay here anymore. Leave him in the jungle. Hungry wolves will tear him apart, and then he will understand." Chu Chu says, "You are his relatives, so how can you speak like this about him?" The queen says, "You are just a concubine. Don't even think about touching him." The king angrily says, "Do whatever you want, I don't care," and they both leave in anger. In the next scene, Chu Chu was trying to explain to Wu Yu, "Don't be angry with them. They are your own people. They must have scolded you for your good." Wu Yu says, "They never think well of me because they think I killed my mother." Chu Chu says, "Your parents sacrificed their lives for you, so you should never disrespect them." Wu Yu says, "My parents gave me this life, so I should not waste it like this. Instead, I should do something that makes them proud when they look at me from above." Then he asks her, "Did you just call me by my name?" She says no. Wu Yu says, "From now on, you will call me husband." Here we see the king, who has the soul pearl which he took after Wu Yu's father died. The demon prince was increasing his power when Yaksha arrives. Yaksha says, "I went to kill Wu Yu, but I came back after being defeated. However, before leaving, I attacked him with a demonic strike, through which I found out that Wu Yu does not have the soul pearl." The demon prince says, "How is this possible? Then where did the soul pearl go?" Yaksha says, "I have an incredible news." He is wandering around with the love rope of the immortal world and trying to find out about it. Hearing this, the demon prince gets lost in thought. The king was remembering about Mingsu. He says, "I am very ashamed that I could not save you and am not able to take proper care of your son. Whenever I look at him, I am reminded of his father, which is why I don't want to face him." Just then, Chu Chu arrives and says, "You should apologize to Wu Yu. You have done a lot of wrong to him." The king says, "Why should I apologize?" Chu Chu says, "I know you don't dislike him that much. After his parents died, he was very lonely. You are his relative, yet you never cared for him. If you think well of him, please go talk to him." Here Wu Mig comes to Wu Yu and Wu Yu realizes that this red thread is from the immortal world and that Chu-Chu is also an immortal. Wu Mig says this Chu-Chu is quite strange. What are you going to do with her? Wu Yu says I am going to make her my wife. Wu Ming says then I'll be the only one left single. Rang tells Wu Yu, I followed Yaksha and found out he works for the Demon Prince. I didn't attack directly there, because we might have gotten into trouble later. Wu Yu says, today he attacked Chu-Chu. It seems he found out that Chu-Chu is an immortal, so he was trying to harm her. Rang says, why don't I take the army and attack his cave? Wu Mig says, this is very dangerous for a girl. You shouldn't do it. This task is for us men. She says, Prince, do you doubt my ability? He says, that's not it. Wu Yu says, for so many years, the Demon Prince has just been watching me from afar. He never attacked me. But today, all of a sudden, he attacked Chu-Chu. This means there must be something going on. Rang says, it seems he is afraid of something. Wu Yu says, it feels like after my father's death, he left something for me and the Demon Prince must want that thing. Wu Ming says, do one thing, go and ask father directly. Hearing this, both look at Wu Ming. Wu Ming says, I am not going anywhere. Just then, Chu-Chu arrives there with the king. The king says to Wu Yu, I don't hate you. I am afraid of facing you. Today, I have come to apologize to you because I could not save your mother, and I did not give you proper care. Saying this, he hands him the soul pearl, saying, this is your father's legacy. After that, they both start talking about Chu-Chu. The king says that Chu-Chu is very smart. She fought with me for you. Truly, that girl is not afraid of anyone. Seeing her reminds me of your mother because she was just like Chu-Chu. Later, Wu Yu goes to Chu-Chu who was sleeping. He watches her sleep for a while, and when she wakes up, he says to her, thank you for explaining to the king for me. He gives her the soul pearl as a reward and tells her not to open it right now. Chu-Chu tells him that she has something important to say. He says, you are an immortal and a matchmaker fairy, right? That's what you wanted to say, isn't it? She asks how he knew that, and he remembers an incident from his childhood, when he met Chu-Chu in a similar way back then. In the present, he says to her, when we were kids, you told me that you are an immortal fairy. Chu-Chu says, if my master finds out, he will definitely scold me. Wu Yu says, I don't care whether you are an immortal, human, demon, or ghost. I just know that I love you, and no one can stop me from being with you. Chu-Chu asks if he is lying, so he kisses her. Then he says that he needs to declare in all 3 clans that he wants to marry her. Meanwhile, when Wu Yu meets the queen, she says, what spell has this Chu-Chu cast on the king that he is now on Wu Yu's side? Today, he was talking to him very lovingly. Wu Ming says, we are a family, so isn't that normal? The queen says, we are not a family. He is a demon. He is not part of our family. His mom and dad passed away as soon as he was born. He is quite unlucky, so don't spend too much time with him. Wu Ming listens to her words from one ear and lets it out from the other, but the queen doesn't stop talking, so he runs away from there. Here, Chu-Chu was quite tired, so Wu Yu tells her that she can rest if she wants. She says, no, I want to stay with you. Wu Yu says, then how about we both sleep together? She says, all this will happen after marriage. Wu Yu says, I just talked about sleeping. She changes the topic. Wu Ming comes and seeing them, says, what happiness do you get by teasing single people like me? Wu Ming looks at Yaksha and says, who is this old man? Yaksha replies, who are you calling old? Wu Ming says, do you know what your name means? It means Yaksha. What do you think it means? Hearing this, the Yaksha begins to explain the meaning of his name. Taking advantage of this moment, Rang Yu attacks him. After being hit, Yaksha goes to the Demon Prince and says, look, he hit me. You should teach him a lesson. Hearing this, the Demon Prince becomes a little serious and showing off his power, attacks Wu Ming and Rang Yu. Wu Yu says, just when Rang Yu is about to be killed by the Demon Prince, Wu Ming steps in and says, if you want to kill someone, kill me, but don't touch my wife. Hearing this, the Demon Prince was about to attack Wu Ming, but suddenly Wu Yu steps in and dodges the attack. The Yaksha says to the Demon Prince, look, he has the soul pearl. The Demon Prince replies, whatever, but today I'm going to end this. Then a fight starts between them. The Demon Prince thinks that today Wu Yu will kill him, so he runs away with the Yaksha and the other demons. After they leave, Chu praises Wu Yu, saying, "Today you really taught them a good lesson." Wu Yu is happy to hear the praise, but suddenly he faints. Ranju checks on him and says, "Master has used all his power, so he has fainted from weakness. He will soon die." Chu says, "But Wu Yu is half demon and half human, isn't he? So why can't he survive?" Ranju says, "The last demon prince, Wu Yu's father, put all his power into this soul pearl, which Wu Yu used today. That's why he won't survive now." Chu becomes very emotional after hearing this. Ranju says, "This is all my fault. I couldn't save my master." He replies, "This isn't your fault. It seems that only an immortal can save him now." After hearing this, Chu stands up and says, "My master is also an immortal. You two wait for a while. I will be back soon." In the next scene, Chu is in the immortal world. Her master is scolding her, saying, "I told you not to use your spell, but you did. You broke one of my rules. I told you to find a good girl for him, but instead you fell in love with him. You broke another rule." Chu begs and says, "Please save Wu Yu." Her master says, "Fine, I will save Wu Yu, but after he gets better, you will become fully human, not an immortal anymore. And your one and only dream to be a matchmaker fairy will remain unfulfilled. Do you still want to save him?" She replies, "Yes, because if Wu Yu isn't here, what will I do with my dreams?" In the next scene, the master comes to the mortal world and heals Wu Yu with his power. Before leaving, he tells Chu, "Now you have no connection with the immortal world. You have become fully human." After a few days, when Wu Yu regains consciousness, Chu is very happy to see him. Wu Yu says, "I found out that you became fully human and left the immortal world to save me." She says, "You know the reason. Now that I'm human, you will have to take responsibility for me." He says, "I promise that I will take care of you for the rest of my life." Chu says, "Why don't we get married soon?" Hearing this, he is a little shocked. Chu says, "Not soon, but let's get married today." In the next scene, their wedding takes place with all the rituals. Yaksha comes to the queen, and seeing him, she gets scared and says, "Ugh, how ugly he is." Yaksha replies, "Ugly? I think the humans have bad eyesight. They can't even recognize someone as handsome as me." Just then, the demon prince arrives and also says, "You're very ugly, so stay away from me." Yaksha replies, "Master, I've been working with you for years, but today you insulted me by calling me ugly. You broke my heart. I'm leaving. I won't work with you anymore." The demon prince replies, "No one is stopping you. Leave now." After Yaksha leaves, the demon prince casts a spell on the queen and enters her body. The next day, Wu Yu was testing his power and Ranju was watching him. She was very happy because now Wu Yu had gained the full power of the Soul Pearl, which meant he could now become the next demon lord. He had to attend a conference in the demon world. So as he was leaving, he told Wu Ming to take care of his sister-in-law and ensure no one harms her. After that, both of them left. From a distance, the demon prince was watching this scene when Yaksha appeared in front of him. The demon prince kicked him away and said, "If I capture Chu, Wu Yu will come to me." In the next scene, Yaksha tries to distract Wu Ming, and the demon prince takes advantage of this and goes to Chu. Chu understood that this wasn't the queen but someone else, and the demon prince knocked her unconscious. The two of them were returning from the demon world, and all the demons had accepted Wu Yu as the demon lord, which made them very happy. When they entered the palace, they saw that the demon prince had captured Wu Ming. Wu Yu asked, "If Wu Ming is here, where is Chu?" The demon prince said, "Chu is in my possession. If you want her to be safe, then give me your demonic power and soul pearl." Wu Ming told him, "Brother, don't listen to him. He's a fraud." Wu Yu replied, "Okay, I agree. Whatever you want, I will give you, but first, you must bring Chu to me." Meanwhile, Chu was in Yaksha's custody. She told Yaksha, "I've heard that the demon prince is about to replace you with someone else because they are saying you're useless, incompetent, and worthless." Yaksha said, "You're lying. My master won't do that." Chu replied, "Have you noticed? The demon prince always beats you up. That's why he doesn't like you." Hearing this, Yaksha started crying. She continued, "You're very unique. I've recognized you. You are very handsome, but no one sees your real beauty." Yaksha replied, "Your taste is very good. Why don't I cut your face? Then let's see if Wu Yu likes you." He started moving toward her face to ruin it, and this scene cuts there. Now the demon prince was trying to call Yaksha using a ring, but Yaksha didn't answer the call. Suddenly Rangyu arrived and said that Yaksha had killed Chu. Hearing this, both of them were very shocked. Wu Yu got so angry that he tried to attack the demon prince, but the demon prince warned him, "This is the queen's body, be careful." Wu Yu replied, "The queen never liked me, so why should I care?" Saying this, he was about to kill him, but the demon prince left with the queen's body and ran away. Wu Yu was chasing him to kill him, and Wu Ming tried to stop him. But as soon as Wu Yu struck him, he fell far away, and Wu Ming died on the spot. The demon prince said, "This guy is really crazy. He just killed his own brother." Then Chu Chu arrived and she was fine. Wu Yu said, "You were supposed to come after a little while, but you ruined the whole show. I was going to scare the demon prince even more." Chu Chu said, "When Rongju came to save me, he didn't say anything like this." At that moment, Wu Ming woke up and the demon prince understood that this was all part of their plan. They had been fooling him. He was really angry now. He took Chu Chu hostage to scare Wu Yu, but Wu Yu killed him in one strike. Chu Chu ran toward him and said, "Now you're going to be the demon lord. In the future, you'll have many enemies. If they try to hurt me and our future children, what will you do?" He replied, "Don't worry, I'm very powerful." When the queen regained consciousness, the king told her, "The demon prince had possessed you, but Chu Chu and Wu Yu saved you." Hearing this, the queen changed her mind. All the hatred she had for them disappeared. Then they received a letter left by Wu Yu. He had written that he wanted to live a normal life with Chu Chu. He no longer wanted to be the demon lord. Then we see them walking happily together. And the drama ends here. Did you like the story? Please let me know in the comment section.